We're live. Hello, all you listeners out there. This is the Phenomenal Podcast with your hosts, Tony Musolino and Drake Duncan.
Yeah. The music's still playing. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Phenomenal Podcast. I was going to let Drake do the intro, but he stopped. This is the Phenomenal Podcast.
I'm used to the music stopping. I can't hear.
Episode 35, live on the Goonland Production YouTube page. We are here. It was a good week last week. Got a lot of views last week. It was a good week for us. But there tonight, we have, once again, Mr. Drake Duncan.
Hey, how's it going out there, folks? Sorry, I was a little confused because I'm not used to hearing the music when we start. It's a little different this time. But anyways, usually when the music stops, I know we're good to go. But today, not only is it me, the hardcore legend Drake Duncan, and the man, the myth, the legend Tony Musolino, we are here with a very special guest. The one, the only, Mari Z! How are you, Mari?
Hey guys, good to finally get to be on your show. I'm so glad to be here, a big time listener. Love the show. You guys are hysterical and well informative as well. That's not really a word, but you guys got it.
I appreciate your compliments. I don't care what word you make up as long as it's a good one. So it's good to finally have you on. We've talked about you a couple of times trying to get you on. We finally have you here to discuss the craziness that's been happening in world wrestling. And the first thing I got to bring up, though, with the first and second episodes of the show, we talked about a guy that Drake was going to WrestleMania. And now we finally have him on the phone. We can finally get his view of them sitting at fucking ringside while I'm sitting at TV and I'm watching and I see these two fuckfaces go on the television sitting behind two of my favorite wrestlers in the industry, Drew Galloway and motherfucking Edge. And Beth Phoenix. So how was... We've heard Drake's side of that. How did it feel for you, man?
You know what? It was kind of crazy because they turned out the lights to bring Edge on. And so, you know, kind of like he had looked over because Beth Phoenix was in front of me and Edge was to my right in front of me behind Drake. So he had looked over to Beth and I kind of glanced at him. And I'm so bad, like, usually if I think I see something, I don't. So I never jumped to conclusions, but it was like that moment of you just knew it was him, even though it was still kind of dark and you couldn't tell. And that's they were like, at first I thought that was Edge. Then I was like so sure, I'm like, holy shit, that's Edge. What the hell?
Right? Yeah.
It was surreal.
Yeah, because honestly, that was the first time. You know, I was never there live for like when they did like crowd plants. Now you actually like see like how they do it live. It's funny because like I'm dumb. Every time every time they would introduce a wrestler, be like, "Oh, he's sitting front row." No, he's not. They just snuck him in there for like 5 seconds. Yep. So at least we were there live to see like how they do it now. You know. So
I didn't really realize that either.
Because honestly, dude, I actually started to think that they just think the crowd watching at home is as dumb as they think they are. Because how is it that Edge was sitting directly in front of us, and then 20 minutes later, Drew Galloway was sitting in front of us? Exactly. How the hell Edge just disappears? Oh, he was sitting there the whole time. Well, what the fuck did Edge go? Like, what are people at home thinking?
No, it's actually a trick question. They're the same person.
Yeah.
See, that's where they fucked up, though, because typically they have generic people behind, and if you're listening and you sat behind one of these wrestlers, then go fuck yourself, you're generic, because nobody noticed until it was us two behind them. And so
No. Here's the thing. You think you guys weren't noticed? I went on Twitter afterwards. Everybody was talking about you guys. You guys were pretty much trending. I'm not even joking. Drake not as much, mostly you. Seth Rogen. Everybody's like, everybody's like, what's Seth Rogen doing at the show?
I couldn't believe it.
No, it was funny as hell to watch.
I didn't really realize it first, and then we had like gone to the bathroom, and we come out, and there's like these 12 drunk guys like hanging all over us and getting pictures with us and like Snapchatting us, and it was just very awkward moment of going from the bathroom to 12 creepy guys who are drunk door all over you. You know, it was
I
like,
don't remember the bathroom
That's
experience. That must have been when you went by yourself.
no. That was at the very end. And remember, we came out of the bathroom and they were like those like line of drunk guys that were like hanging all over us.
Very vaguely, man. I was pretty fucking drunk at that point.
That's true.
You're saying they were drunk? We were drunk too, bro.
I know, dude. I mean,
I can't believe that
WrestleMania's level of drunkenness was off the hook.
Hey, tell everybody about the alleged celebrity you met. The guy that said he was his cousin. Remember?
Oh yeah, these three guys
Tell him.
who were like dressed up in like some really nice jewelry. So really, we really didn't know what to think.
Yeah.
And they were like have like like a bottle of vodka and stuff, and they're like saying they were Pitbull's cousin. I don't know. It was kind of fucked.
Dude.
At that point, we were so drunk they could have told us anything.
It was hilarious. But even though it was fucked up, I knew that it was fucking vodka. You actually like weren't sure. It's fucking hilarious. You're like, I brought in water, and he was like winking. He's like, it's water, and you're like, oh, good water. And you chugged it, and you went, ugh. I'm like, dude, it's vodka. How did you not pick up on that?
Wow.
And then the ribs, man.
Yeah, well, Drake, you need to tell the rib story because I think I was a little too far gone at that point.
Well, actually, walking back out of WrestleMania, we couldn't find an Uber or a Lyft to save our fucking life. So we basically
and we were in the ghetto.
We walked more than halfway to the hotel, I think.
Wow.
And at that point, because
in the ghetto.
at that point, the Uber ride was only like fucking 5 minutes away because we walked so far. He was walking like Stone Cold. And I just told everybody he looked like Seth. Why don't I keep saying Farr? He looked like Seth Rogen, but was talking like Stone Cold Steve Austin. So I was telling everybody he was Stone Cold Seth Rogen, and he was just like, "Listen here, you son of a bitch, I'm gonna whip the man." And this whole time we were eating ribs, and like at one point he passed out on the ground. I had to like wake him up.
That was such a crazy night. We're in the ghetto the whole time. Like, when you come out of the place where WrestleMania is, like, people don't hang out there. It's the shadiest, most ghetto place ever, and there's nothing but unsavory characters around. So that's probably why we couldn't get an Uber to pick us up there. And so we're walking, and there's, like, this random rib stand, and we're like, oh, let's get some ribs.
Yeah, it was like a portable, it was like a pop-up rib stand. It was like a truck. Actually, not only because it was a bad area, I don't think it was mostly that. It's because there were so many people coming out of Mania. The demand was so high, they were too busy.
Yeah, that's definitely why the rib stand was there. Now, why I got the ribs all over the Uber driver's seat, I'm not really sure.
Can you hear me well? Is my audio good, Mari? Can you hear me well?
I can hear you.
Okay, just making sure. Because I don't know how loud my own voice is. Yeah, that was such an epic night. That was insane.
Yeah, no, it sounded like you guys had an incredible
weekend. So, did Drake on the podcast here radio tell the audience about our hotel room experience?
Oh no,
that was hilarious. So we barely made it alive back to the hotel. By the way, I had to find your phone to call the Uber driver to come back, and so I can get my phone. I left my phone in like an idiot.
After I got ribs all over his car, which I felt like shit for because I really didn't do it on purpose. I was just drunk, so sorry, Uber guy.
Right?
I did not mean to get ribs all over your car. It was all over.
And what's hilarious is like you guys make sure you have your phone and everything. Like, yeah, I got it. And then we're like, sorry, I don't know how do I? Luckily, I was still of sound mind enough to figure out how to operate a telephone.
That's funny.
And use the fucking app on your phone to get the guy to come back and give me my phone. So thank fuck. I thought that was the end of my phone. I'm like, well, that's it. It's gone.
It's over, yeah.
But luckily, I was able to be smart enough to get that back, which was still shocking. But anyways,
I still feel bad about the ribs. I mean, I got they gave us a to-go container of a full rack of ribs, and we're eating them, and we're just being sloppy. They're all over everywhere, and then I get in the car. The guy's making turns. I'm grabbing onto his handlebar. I'm holding onto the seats. I'm dropping ribs. The guy probably hated us for life.
No doubt. 2 container ribs. Didn't you leave one on the fucking grass, in the middle of nowhere, where he picked us up?
Yeah, I did. I left half the ribs there.
Yeah, I took a picture. I remember taking a picture of fallen ribs. So there's just ribs just scattered all over the fucking random turf of grass.
Now, to set the bar for WrestleMania, we didn't get a hotel for NXT, but we did get a hotel for WrestleMania. So we were there.
Yeah, I was
we
just gonna
wanted to
get into
pregame and drink a little bit. And
Bad
we
idea.
walk in, and it is the shittiest, worst hotel ever. It's right in the ghetto, but it's a little bit farther out.
Oh,
And
geez.
so we're there.
It was run by
and
Indians.
And the first thing that we see etched into the headboard that said Josh is gay.
Yeah,
Ah.
I was just gonna ask you, what was the name? Was it Josh? I think it was something else.
No, it was Josh. Josh is gay. I'll never forget it.
Really? I thought it was another name.
I think it was Josh. We can look back through pictures, but
I'll
for
look
now,
back at it.
Josh, whatever you did to make somebody carve your name into a hotel, you suck.
Yeah, no, apparently somebody was really pissed off at Josh.
Yeah, and the floor was so disgusting.
No. Sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you. I remember now. It was Andy. Remember, Andy is gay.
Andy is gay. I thought it was Josh. Okay, Josh, you're cool. Andy, you're a piece of shit.
Yeah, it was Andy is gay. Oh yeah, we had. They left us with like barely any toilet paper left. It was like less than 1/4 of a roll of toilet paper.
You had to go buy your damn toilet paper.
It was quite an evening. Oh yeah, I remember the growler. Prior to that night, not only did Mari have booze with him, I brought a growler of some like really good fucking like vanilla porter beer, but there was no fridge there, so we had to put it on ice, and it ended up going bad. But I drank it anyways because I'm a fucking partial alcoholic. But what's funny is I didn't finish it. We were so blasted. I'm like, Mari, do you think I can return this growler? We actually drove back to the liquor store, and I attempted to I actually never touched it. Remember, I never opened it. I was going to return it. I was going to return the growler beer because it was never open. But then I said, I'm like, there's no way you can return it. So I said, fuck it. Then I drank it at the poolside later that day. Remember?
That's true. Man, the hotel room though was so grody. We kept our shoes on. I can't believe just how this is like the worst of the worst. Those shit hotels. This was like the bottom scum fuck barrel of hotels.
Like, how much were you paying for it?
What did we pay? It was like.
Didn't you overpay for it?
Jesus Christ! That's like a $10 hotel.
I think you overpaid for it, honestly, because it was WrestleMania weekend, and and he didn't want to get have his girlfriend pick us up and all that, so because she was like in bed, right? So so we just wanted to. Yeah, go ahead.
I would say also remember there was holes in shit in the ceiling and the bathroom, you couldn't even use the shower or anything. The whole thing was falling apart. It was terrible. I wish I knew the name of it. I'd name drop it on here and tell him to go fuck himself.
Right. But anyways, before we're gonna transit, that made a very good WrestleMania Remember weekend, right? And by the way, Tony, I think I might have a name you can use for this episode. I just one more mention about the growler. Do you remember the whole weekend? That growler. There was so much talk about the growler. Remember, I ended up calling it Finn Growler. Remember that? So we should just name this episode Finn Growler.
Maybe we'll think about it.
Anyways, we're going to transition. Yeah, what?
Tell people what a growler is, because I didn't even know till I met you. So let's pretend that maybe the audience is half as retarded as I am.
It's basically just a big, gigantic jug of booze, mostly beer. So that's all it is. But anyway, so that was quite the epic WrestleMania weekend, was it not, my friend?
You know what? It was a 10 out of 10. I wish I wasn't so blasted for the Undertaker match and yelling at everybody in my stone cold voice and I'm a happy drunk, but I was whatever. I'd never been a violent drunk, but in this case, I was a stone cold wanted to whoop ass drunk.
Yeah, then you were going off about Trumpschwitz. I don't even know if I should get into that.
Yeah, we're not gonna get into that.
Okay. Anyways, but we're gonna transition. Speaking of WrestleMania, what are your predictions for this year's WrestleMania? We already know that Styles and Nakamura is set in stone.
It's not set in stone yet.
I believe it's set in stone.
It's definitely set in stone, but anything can happen.
But what else do you think could happen on this show?
Well, I mean, with this whole Ronda Rousey thing, I don't know what you guys think. I thought Triple H was going to have a solo match, but I'm hearing rumors maybe him and Stephanie are going to partner in on something against Rousey. What do you guys think about that?
I think it's a great idea.
That'd be interesting.
I think that's the perfect spot. If at that point you can make that her first match, if you bring in a good enough talent. I hear a lot of rumors of The Rock. I don't know how possible that is. It might be that's everybody wants The Rock, obviously, but I just don't know.
So you think there's talks? I actually heard something about this too. So you think there's a potential tag team match to become of it? Rock and Ronda versus Stephanie Triple H. Is that what you guys?
That's what I've heard so far.
Yeah, that's the rumor. It's a pretty popular one, but I mean that's been the rumor for a couple years. But Ronda's here now. So.
Yeah, ever since that encounter, what was it, WrestleMania 31?
Yeah, in San Francisco 3 years ago. Yeah, it needs to come to fruition because that was pretty. That was the last moment that Ronda Rousey showed up in the WWE ring and she stared down Stephanie. Right? Like,
yeah,
that was a big moment. You know,
that
I
was
didn't think
they'd
they'd wait 3 years to fucking finally for it to come.
I don't think it was that we had to wait 3 years. I think they had to wait for Ronda's UFC career to die, which it just took 3 years for that to happen.
Oh yeah, I know it wasn't intentional. I'm just saying, like, it's just crazy, like how it's finally happening. And honestly, I think that'd be a good match for her too. I think a tag team match would be good because it's kind of questionable. Stephanie's barely an athlete herself, you know, because she barely steps into the ring. I think the last time Stephanie stepped into the ring was against one of the Bellas. So I'm thinking, like, usually it actually probably would be better for Ronda to be in the ring with somebody more experienced so she can carry her, because Ronda doesn't have that much experience in a wrestling ring, even though she has been training, I'd imagine. But with it being a tag team match, they can obviously tag in their male partners, and that way the two female won't have to it won't have to go on forever. So I was gonna say, because honestly, I don't think her and Asuka might still be she might still be pushed into the women's title picture, Ronda that is, but it's Asuka's time. It's Asuka's time, to go for the title at WrestleMania. I don't think Ronda needs to be involved in that. So I think a program with her and Stephanie would be much better.
The thing I'll say too is that and I know this isn't the most popular opinion, but I'm really kind of over Triple H being one of the headline matches at Mania. So this would kind of take him out a little bit and make him more, I don't know, I won't say watchable. He's obviously still at a high level, but it would make it a little bit more entertaining because he's doing something other than having a program once a year with one of the headline guys.
I know exactly what you're trying to say. He won't be such a strong focal point at this year's Mania.
Exactly.
And I agree with you. I actually think he needs to take it down a notch. As much as I love Triple H, I don't think he needs to be he still kind of has to steal the spotlight to a degree. He doesn't need to be so predominantly showcased at each and every single WrestleMania. He's been a part-time wrestler since 2010. He doesn't need to be showcased so prominently every year. So this would be a good role for him to kind of just slip on in. And it's not, you know what I mean? Because when he won the championship and all that, I hate it. I'm sorry, but I think they only did that because Rollins was out with a knee injury.
Yeah, no doubt. And but to get on for Triple H, because hopefully that happens. But who do you think, if The Rock isn't her tag team partner, who do you think would slot into that role? It has to be a big name. It can't be a small.
Cena, maybe Cena if he's not facing Undertaker. If Undertaker doesn't come back, Cena would be the biggest name that comes to my mind.
That'd be a good one.
I was thinking that too. Well, what about? I also was thinking today. Speaking of Cena, if Cena and Taker doesn't happen, does it seem like they might go towards a? I got this weird feeling today. I finally watched the rest of Raw today. I saw that Cena beat Finn for the spot elimination chamber.
So much.
That pissed me off too, Mari. That pissed you off when Cena beat Finn for the elimination chamber.
What? You guys cut out a little bit.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Were you pissed off when Cena beat Finn on Raw for the elimination chamber spot?
Yeah, I didn't understand why he needed that. It's like in a world of stuff like that, that's where I get frustrated because it doesn't make sense to me.
Not a drop.
Especially since Cena eliminated Finn the night before out of the Rumble. I thought Finn would get revenge. But
yeah, me too. And I thought, you know what? Cena doesn't need this, but Finn does because he's only been the demon character 5 times now. I think a lot of people's. Yeah, and I think a lot of people, and his stock has gone down significantly without the demon gimmick being as big, and I think that would have been a good way to really kind of get him back up in the crowd's eyes.
Well, I have a strange feeling for some reason. You know how he's been partnering with the club again, right? Gallows and Anderson. I get a strange feeling that because Cena eliminated him at Rumble and because he took a spot in the chamber, what if Finn Balor attacks Cena the night of Elimination Chamber? So Cena can't enter the match. Finn takes his spot and then goes full heel that night, whether he wins or doesn't win.
Oh, that would blow my fucking mind.
What do you think of that,
I
Mark?
would love that.
And
I would
also,
love that. That would be perfect.
and it could
He
lead
needs
to
something.
it could lead
He
to a
does need
matchup at Mania between him and Cena. I mean, if him and Elias don't happen already, so I think it. I don't know. For some reason, I get a feeling that if we don't see Taker and Cena, it seems like this might be the beginning rumblings, no pun intended, of a epic Cena and Balor feud. I could see it happening.
Well, you said the name that I honestly interested in more facing. I want Elias to get that match. I feel like Elias's 2018 is going to be big. I think he's on par to do some shit. Look at the way he's being pushed right now on Raw.
Actually,
Just being in the feud with Cena is pretty incredible to think about going into. At this point, like
I agree.
it's probably going to be. I mean, I don't see anybody else. If Cena's not in the tag team match, I think Cena's going to be working with a young guy.
right. So honestly, this is pretty awesome. Speaking of Elias, now that we have him on here, Mari, can you tell us about Elias? You know him, right? Like, you got to wrestle with him, right? You got to know the guy.
Yeah, so like I unfortunately I got to train with him for I think 2 or 3 months. It probably not quite 3 months, but maybe it might have been because it was only 2 nights a week that we trained, so that stretches out. But I trained with him, and I gotta say, like, I was one of those people that did not pick up on any of that shit quickly. And whenever we were there, it was kind of known that Jeff is his name, Elias was the top trainee. So
Right.
he got the most ring time, he got the most attention, which was cool because that meant I got my ass kicked a lot less of the time.
Sure.
So we would all rotate in, and then they would spend significant time with Jeff and like going through stuff. And like I was so discouraged a lot. I got yelled at a lot for shit. And Jeff, like, he was one of the coolest people because he actually took the time to like comfort me and say, hey, dude, like, I didn't catch up on shit quickly. Like, don't worry about it. They actually really like you here. They just want, they're trying to do the best by you. They don't hate you. Like, stuff like that, man. And whenever we went in the ring together, like, because I was the newest guy, guys would take, like, hard shots of me. I mean, like, I got kicked in the head. Like, just stuff that probably wouldn't fly in 2018 was
Probably.
going on in 2000 and, like, when did I do it? 7?
Yeah, that was still kind of like the Wild West times a little bit.
Yeah, and Jeff was the only one, other than like maybe some like the newer trainees, if they had us do stuff together, that actually like whenever I had to go up and do stuff with him, I knew I was going to be well taken care of, and the guy wasn't going to like, actually like not hurt me, like not injure me, but like rough me up because, trying to like mold me in and make me new. He actually like took really good care of me, and I always appreciated that. He was a great like mentor in himself. But as an athlete, like when we were training in 2007, that guy was so far above and beyond anybody. I mean, you could tell that guy was going so many big places.
This was IWC, correct?
Yeah, and fun fact, every day of training, he wore this forest green shirt that was like probably like 3XL, and it was swimming on him. And every time I went up against him, if we would lock up, I would tangle in his shirt with my hand. And I'm like, son of a bitch, doesn't he have another shirt? It was hilarious.
That is hilarious. That's so funny you said that because I was just going to ask as soon as you're done telling your story. Said, didn't he wear like a super, super long shirt? Because I remember our friend Ben, who also was a wrestler and came up with him, he went by the name of Greg Kingsley. If he's out there listening, shout out. He's not. Anyway, one day he might hear this.
Shout out anyway.
Remember Ben would tape footage of him having matches with Logan? And he would always have these big ass baggy fucking clothes on. And I'm like, and I remember one time Ben did a promo for him. He actually, this was like 10 years ago, so like 2008. It was pretty good. And it seemed like a candid interview. And I remember Jeff Logan, whatever you want to call him, I remember him saying that like Shawn Michaels is his favorite wrestler and all that. But at the end of the video, I remember he was like punching the wind in like slow motion, like in like the sunset. Like Ben did like a pretty good like transitional effect there. It was pretty cool. So that's so awesome though. Like you guys got to know him. I met him once. Well, actually, I met him a couple times. Like the one time there was an indie show. Ben was still like pulling camera cord and stuff this time,
The fun stuff.
Right? But I helped. I helped give out tickets and take down the ring and stuff like that because Ben was my ride. And I couldn't get there or back without him, so people thought I was a wrestler. It's like I was helping take down the ring and all that. But that was cool, even though I never like took any bumps and I never paid my dues. I kind of wish I would have. like at least went to training. Like at least Tim went to training, and you had it. Even though I mean, you had a few matches too, because like you actually went back to wrestle for a little bit in RWA, correct?
Yeah, I did a lot of stuff with them in 2011.
Yeah.
So that was where I had more things going. And Black Diamond Wrestling is where I did like a lot of stuff too, which my cousin owns, or he's the promoter. I don't think he's the owner. He's the promoter. Or
I forgot
booker
about
or
that,
something
man.
like that.
I forgot
so-
that. I
So
forgot that was your cousin.
what's the name of that company again?
What's that?
What was the name of the company again? Just give a little shout out.
Yeah. Black Diamond Wrestling, man. In fact, that's
remember
where if you're in the area today, wrestling in the Pittsburgh area, even though I think they do some stuff in West Virginia, but locally, I think they're the best thing out there. They do a lot of like cool stuff. They had like a charity show a couple weeks ago, and like it just seems like they're very not only involved in wrestling but the community. And
That's
I think
awesome.
it's pretty.
Yeah, no. So shout out to them.
Right. Yeah, I remember there were some good
And my
matches.
cousin Jake Garrett. Shout out to you, Jake Garrett, a
Right.
legend. He actually trained in the ECW crop whenever they had their ECW training,
Oh, wow.
trainees.
Wow. Oh, that's like back in the day. I remember hearing that they had a couple of training sessions. Who was it? I'm pretty sure it was like Bubba and Dreamer. I'm pretty sure.
That's awesome.
Yeah, he did all that kind of stuff. So that was pretty cool. So yeah, the indie scene, I don't know how good it is right now. I don't really keep up on it, but I know that they're
I don't really
super
either, man. I'm not
active.
sure.
Oh, indie scene's great right now. Indie scene's
In Pittsburgh?
probably in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, you're just talking about Pittsburgh,
It's
right,
starting
Mark?
to get there.
Yeah.
I'm hearing a lot more companies like starting to pop up.
Honestly, it's been a while since I've been to a good indie show. Tony, I think we should go sometime.
I'm about it. I'm always about it. But
I don't know
it's-
why. Honestly, actually, hey, Mar, you're going to be back around March at some time, right? You want to check and see if there's any indie shows? Maybe we can all go.
Yeah, absolutely. If not, I'd love to come do a live show with you guys.
Oh, that'd be
in the
fantastic.
Oh,
You'll be
definitely,
back
for
sometime in March, right?
I'm still waiting on official word, but I will be home around March or April. I was told this spring I'll be home.
Cool. That'd
So,
be awesome. That'd be
I wanna
awesome. Go ahead.
Don't want to say why, but I definitely will be back. It's like super official, and I'll be back, and we're going to be doing some stuff.
That'd be
Awesome.
pretty sweet if it was the same week or weekend as WrestleMania.
That'd be nice. I
know.
definitely we haven't announced anything or really talked about anything yet. I just know I have something big planned for Mania. I just don't know what it is
You
yet.
do.
Oh,
I just don't
For the show?
Yes, I just don't know
Nice.
exactly what it is yet. It might have something to do with going live for the whole show. I just have to talk.
Oh, really?
Drake. I just have to talk Drake into doing that.
Well, actually, maybe. I was going to say that I was going to try to have it over my house. Everyone's invited, by the way. So I could do it. We can bring the equipment and do it at my house.
That's what I'm saying.
Anyways, Mari, if you happen to be home for Mania, you're invited.
Oh, hell yeah. I'm excited. It's going to be good. Going back to Mania, do you guys see any big surprises coming out of this Mania? I mean, we didn't get any huge Rumble surprises except for, Rey Mysterio was amazing. I'm not going to knock that, but I was hoping for a little
Actually,
bit more.
if I could stop you there, but before we continue with our Mania predictions, one of the main reasons why I wanted you on here, what was your opinion as Royal Rumble as a whole? What did you think of it? I thought it was one of the best Royal Rumbles we've had in years. Not just the matches, because this is the first female women's Royal Rumble ever. Not just the matches themselves, but the whole pay-per-view as a whole was one of the best we've had in years, in my opinion. What's your opinion?
Yeah, I think it's the best Rumble match we've had in years as far as like the winner and getting somebody we wanted and deserved. I think the match itself, I get it. There's 2 Rumbles. It had to be a little rushed, but man, it felt super rushed. I felt like they could have maybe fixed that. Other than that, the matches were just phenomenal. I mean, I thought that the show kept me on my toes pretty much the whole time, and I felt like everybody put everything into that show.
I would agree with that. The only match that I have gripe with is that tag team match with the Bar versus Rollins.
It's kind of boring.
That match sucked. But other than that, I totally agree with you.
Well, Jason Jordan dropped the ball because he didn't get injured.
Yeah, apparently he couldn't take a
Yeah.
bump in that.
What did he injure though? What did he injure? His dick.
His neck.
Oh, so
I
wait,
guess his neck. But honestly, I wish they would have done something where, like, in the back, like, they would have, quote unquote, attacked him, and then Rollins would have to find a new partner. And if, like, if they lost, then that means Jordan loses the title. And then they could have figured out something to do to at least give us a good match,
Oh, wait, was that planned? 'Cause I thought that was actually like on the fly decision because he didn't get legit injured. That was all kayfabe.
No, he was injured.
Okay, because I thought
he was injured before the match though, so that made that's why we didn't see him wrestle.
Okay, see, I didn't know that, guys. I thought he got injured in the match, and they called an audible and told the ref to his headset to fucking change the decision. They've done shit like that.
Well, yeah, no, you're right, but that's why they did the into the post spot.
Okay.
10 seconds.
Now, Maury, just to clarify, were you saying that you felt the Rumble matches were rushed, like or just like the non-Rumble match?
Match.
Okay, well, actually, because I felt like the both Rumble matches were very good, but I feel like all the non-Rumble matches on the show were rushed. Like all the title matches, I felt like they were rushed. And
especially
how surprising, right? And how surprising was it that there was no shenanigans in the WWE title match? Like I thought Daniel and Shane would came out. That was surprising, and also the Usos getting 2 clean falls in a row. I honestly think that was all just due to time constraint because they were rushing. What do you think?
Yeah. I think so. I think the whole thing was probably rushed a bit because, I mean, it's hard enough to time out one Royal Rumble. Now you got 2 in the first ever women's that you got to dedicate a lot of time to. And then you got to dedicate that special ending to Ronda Rousey. I wouldn't want to be on the booking committee, but I have to tell you, the whole thing did seem pretty rushed. But at the same time, if you compare it to several of the last Rumbles that we've had, I mean, this one's a pretty clear-cut winner.
Now, speaking of the Ronda Rousey ending, a lot of people have been saying that, including divas on the roster, including Nikki Bella, Sasha Banks, Nia Jax, saying that Ronda Rousey stole the spotlight from the match. How do you feel about that?
That's tough. I can see their point. I mean, here's the thing. In a night that's dedicated to women, how do you not have one of the biggest, most polarizing women in the world come out?
Maybe the biggest woman signing in history. It just might be.
Yeah, I mean, here's what I would have done personally. I would have had Ronda Rousey come out and maybe cost somebody the Rumble match, and then at the end have somewhat of a stare down. That way, during the Rumble match, there's other excitement and the Ronda Rousey excitement, so it's not all her stealing the show. But I don't think they did it the right way, but I get that Ronda Rousey needed to be a part of that if she, but then maybe she could have been in a different show. I don't know. Well, that's a tough call because there's so many ways it could have went, but I don't think it was right that way.
Well, I actually I see both perspectives, honestly. I can understand both sides. So I have a way that they should have done it. Well, this is just my opinion. If notice how they usually save, like, after big pay-per-views like Royal Rumble, WrestleMania, SummerSlam, usually they save big surprise entrances or debuts or anything. Usually they save them the night after. I would have saved her for Raw.
Well, seeing she didn't show up on Raw, I think that had a major part to do with it. The instant right after Rumble, she went right back to set to film the movie that she supposedly was going to miss for.
Okay, so Tony was just telling me that she couldn't be on Raw, so maybe that's why they had to bring out the Rumble, because I personally would have saved her, because I think to a degree, she did kind of steal Asuka's moment, but to a degree, though. Not like completely, like everyone's making a big deal to be, but to a degree she did. Yeah. That's why I would have saved her debut for Raw. But if she said she's doing a movie?
Yeah, they're shooting a movie in Colombia. That was the rumor that she wasn't going to be there. She started like, I'm going to be in Colombia for my movie, but obviously that was just an diversion. That's actually a real thing that she is filming.
Well, that's possible why they didn't save her for Raw, because she had to go to this movie. Exactly. But yeah, I would have saved it. But
honestly, my biggest issue with the whole thing was how awkward she made the ending by throwing her hand up for like 15 seconds over her shoulder that was so choreographed, and then putting it down, that awkward pause, and her throwing her hand back up, pointing at the Mania sign for like another 20 seconds, and I'm like,
yeah,
this is just an awkward moment. Obviously, she doesn't know what the hell to do. They just told her to don't cross your hand over your face, so awkwardly stand pointing at the camera or at the Mania sign with your whole body facing the hard cam.
She honestly, honestly, the more I think about Ronda Rousey, the more I'm like, maybe she's somebody that should go to NXT first.
Yeah, yeah. Honestly, I agree with you guys, because here's the thing. Don't get me wrong. I'm excited that she's here, even though, because I usually I'm like, fuck MMA people. But because she is such a big name, and like I said, I hate Shayna Baszler, but at least she did have experience with, what was it, Shine, Tony?
Shimmer.
Well, see, even though I hate Shayna Baszler's character, she had experience. She had actual professional wrestling experience in Shimmer, and I think also Ruby Riott and Ember Moon were in there as well. So at least she actually had professional wrestling experience. Shayna Baszler, but Ronda Rousey does not. So I think actually she should go through NXT first. And like I said, I don't want her to be the one to beat Asuka or anything like that because she
might be. It honestly might happen.
It might happen, but she's not ready yet. I actually agree with you guys. I think she should go through NXT, like you said. And honestly, it was awkward. I agree with you on that point too because Tony, JP, myself, we thought the Rumble was over and they hit her music. I don't give a damn about my reputation.
It definitely was like 30 seconds.
Was that the song? I don't give a damn about. And then we were all looking at each other like, what the fuck is me? She fighting Asuka? She fighting Charlotte? She fighting Alexa? What the fuck is happening? And by the way, no wonder with no doubt they rushed all the matches because at that point it was like almost 11:30. If you guys.
Oh yeah, no, it was good.
It went to overtime, but that's cool though that they can do that because it's on the network. You don't have to worry about them fading black. Didn't you actually watch the WCW pay-per-view live where they cut the feed?
Yeah, don't remind me of that one. Yeah,
you don't talk about that.
At that point, I was
Goldberg and Nash.
Wrestling was real, so I didn't know what was going on.
But anyways, you have to say though, what my overall opinion of the Rumble. Well, we're gonna transition here now. But honestly, our biggest complaint. I mean, my biggest complaint was like you said, everything was too rushed. But if your biggest complaint is the matches are too rushed, is to me that's like a very trivial pet peeve. That means the show was pretty damn good.
No doubt.
So and overall,
I have one more question regarding Rousey that I started thinking about it in our conversation, but I didn't really think about it before, and that was, obviously Ronda Rousey does not do very well with like failure and defeat. Do you think WWE is not doing the right thing by setting her up? I mean, you're putting her in the main event spot. What if she goes out there and lays a big goose egg, which she might because she has no training? I mean, how's she going to handle that on a personal level? I mean, she didn't handle losing to Holly Holmes very well.
I think it's going to be a different situation because she has been a wrestling fan her whole life, so I think that she'll be able to put that aside. She's a professional. We have to remember that. This isn't like this is some idiot coming in. Ronda Rousey is a very smart individual. I feel like she'll be able to make that transition very well. Right. Because you got to think too. If you're looking at a UFC fight, losing a UFC fight, you're training for months on end for one fight, and then you go in and you get knocked out with one of the nastiest head kicks at that point in a while. You can see where her anger would come from. It's a different situation.
Also, we don't know yet if she's going to be prominently featured in a main card match. It could just be it could just be like you said, that tag team match. Like that's going to be a big deal, but it's not going to be like. I don't think they should put her like a title on the line or anything like that. Like she needs. I actually think the best place for her is a match against a tag team match against Stephanie, because it would also play off of the story that they had planted. Started to plant like the seeds of like 3 years ago, WrestleMania 31, and I think that would be just a very entertaining spot. And then they can end with. Let's just hope she can get The Rock. I can't think of a better partner than The Rock.
Honestly, would be a good partner, though, honestly.
I would say, what really sucks? If Piper was still alive, she would be his best partner. Too bad Piper's dead, yo.
Oh, did you? I don't even know if you saw the tweet that was out that the jacket she was wearing was actually Roddy Piper's jacket. Her son gave it to her.
Oh, yeah, I did see that. I saw that she gave it back to the son.
Yeah, so that was actually Roddy Piper's jacket. So that was so damn cool.
Are you still there?
Oh, yeah, I'm here.
Okay, but overall, though, you were pleased with the Rumble, yes?
Absolutely. Is my favorite, at least my favorite one in a long time, because I think all the outcomes were pretty good.
Yeah, like I said, JP and I at the very least agreed that it was the best Rumble winner since Edge in 2010.
I agree
with Nakamura, man, fucking A. I called it.
Now with him and AJ, we know that main event. How do you feel about the one we pretty much know is going to happen? Brock and Lesnar.
You mean Brock Reigns?
Brock and Reigns.
Lesnar's fighting himself.
Yeah, he's fighting himself. Well,
he's gonna pull an Al Snow and fight a fucking plastic dummy.
Here's the thing. At this point, I think he is pretty much fighting himself because if you look at what the situation is, there's a lot of rumors that his contract apparently is up after WrestleMania. There's a lot of rumors that he's going back to the UFC because his suspension at this point is over. He never left the UFC testing pool. Yeah. He never left the USADA testing pool, apparently. So his suspension is up. There's a lot of rumors of him going back to the UFC. Do you think that will play any factor in this match? I mean, we kind of already at this point knew Reigns was going to win. Like, this is hopefully this is the fucking culmination of the feud that we've been waiting to end
this
for
needs
3
to
years
come.
now.
This needs closure.
So what do you think about that?
I think, I think the exact same thing. I think no matter what the rumor is, I think Lesnar is at least going to be gone for a while. I mean, I think he's already re-upped his contract a few times, and he seems like somebody who just needs to take a breath and stay away and do something else. I think he's gone after Mania. I think Reigns is going to win regardless, so I think it's going to, even if he wanted to re-up the contract, I think it's going to be an easier decision of him saying, well, I'm not going to have the title. I can go back to being a full part-time like I want to, but I'm just going to take a break. I think he's gone. I think Reigns wins. I think we know the outcome this far in advance that the match probably isn't going to be that super great.
I mean, well, I don't think it's going to be a terrible match. I mean, if you go back and watch their match at Mania 31, it was a pretty good match. I mean, it got a lot better when Rollins came down, but up until that point, it was a very competitive match. I think they'll at least have a serviceable match. I don't think it's going to be like Goldberg Brock at WrestleMania 20. I don't think it's going to be that caliber. I think it's going to be like, I think it will be a serviceable match. I don't think we're going to have to worry about that being a great match. So as long as we have Nakamura Styles. But who do you think comes out in that match? You think they're going to put the belt on Nakamura at Mania?
Oh, man, that's so tough. You know, I want to say Nakamura. I could see him keeping it on Styles. I could see them saying, well, Lesnar's gone. We need Styles to kind of carry the company because, you know, everybody hates Reigns. But, oh, man, what I wouldn't give for Nakamura to win that title at Mania, dude. I'd lose my shit.
I mean, it would be a history-making event. Really, it depends on how they go with the story, because there's never been a Japanese WWE champion. Just never. I mean, Inoki held it back when it was the WWF championship, but that doesn't count.
And I know I'm going to get shit again for this, too, but I said, wasn't technically Yokozuna a Japanese champion because his character was Japanese, even though he's really Samoan, but it doesn't really count.
Nope. I mean, storyline-wise, technically, yes, but if we're
storyline-wise, yes.
I think everybody knows Yokozuna wasn't Japanese.
When I was little, I thought he was Japanese. I thought wrestling was real until I was like 12. How about you, Mar?
I think I was 12 too, to be honest with you.
What are you guys talking about?
We thought wrestling was real.
It's still real, damn it.
I thought that wrestling was officially.
Real to me, damn it. Shout out to that guy.
I love that.
I honestly, you know who fucking killed kayfabe for me? The Big Boss Man. I found out wrestling was fucking fake whenever the Big Boss Man served Al Snow his own Chihuahua pepper to him.
That's jumping the shark, right?
And whenever he fucking was dragging around Big Show's fucking dad.
So you believed it when Mae Young birthed the hand?
That was after, dude.
No, that was after. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. So
I was pooping my diapers when that shit was going on. What are you talking about?
Oh, dude, you were five.
I was pooping my diapers.
You were pooping through your diapers? Actually,
I don't know.
Anyways, oh yeah, I wanted to go back to the Brock Reigns thing real quick. It's almost like a given that Reigns is going to win because Mari, you called it. You actually thought that Strowman was going to win at the Rumble because you thought Lesnar was going to leave sooner. Remember?
Yeah, I didn't. You know, everybody said, "Well, it's going to be Lesnar and Reigns at Mania," and you hear all these rumblings, and I thought, "Well, he's just going to lose it here and leave."
Don't get me wrong. I wish you were right. I want Strowman to be champion. He should be champion. But let's just hope.
I think he's first person to challenge Reigns.
So once Reigns is guaranteed to win at Mania, I'm hoping Strowman will be next in line for a title shot.
Well, speaking of Strowman, apparently he's getting a title shot at Mania. The rumors is he's facing the Miz at Mania for the Intercontinental title.
Oh,
that's the rumors. I think that's a good start. There's no rush to put the world title on Braun. Braun is very young. It's only his second, third year.
True.
At this point.
But here's the thing, though. Braun's kind of a rare case. Honestly, I think he's like almost on Brock Lesnar caliber. Like,
no, I mean, I don't disagree with that.
You know how when Brock Lesnar, when his debut year, 2002, right? He was like an unstoppable force, man. He really was the beast, even at a young age.
No, I don't disagree with that. What I'm saying is, I don't think it's a bad idea to put the Intercontinental title on him because that opens up the Miz to actually start to chase the world title. Because now that the world title's off Brock, you can actually make the Miz go for the world title. Because there's no fucking way the Miz is going to beat Brock Lesnar. There's no way. It's not going to happen.
I have no problem with the Miz going towards the world title either, but I just feel like I was just going to pair Braun to Brock for a moment because, like, if you remember Brock's rookie year in 2002, he didn't hold any mid card titles before he won a world title. He just went straight.
Ever held a mid card title?
No, he just went straight to world champion. I think Braun is in the same conversation of Lesnar level destruction and greatness. I think Braun's the type of guy he just give him a world championship. I don't think he needs to go for the mid card title, but it wouldn't be a bad thing either because, like you said, it opened up Miz for a spot to go to the world championship. What do you think, Mar?
Yeah, I think honestly, with Braun, I went through so many phases of hating him and just another big guy who can't talk.
Really, I love Braun.
But now I love him. Now he's like one of my favorites. He's hilarious outside of WWE too, with the elf shit and everything. The guy's phenomenal. I would like to see him kind of open up a personality a little bit more, like at least talk, or like, I don't know, like he's doing it now, but I wish he would take it to the next level so that he would be like.
I think he is currently, like right now. when he destroyed the entire locker, the entire the stage, the locker room, and he flipped the truck. That was great.
He's flipped. I mean, sooner or later he's gonna flip the arena.
Dude, you got to admit, Raw a couple weeks ago when he said, "I'm not finished until I get my hands on everybody." Like when Kurt Angle fired him, that was great. Did you see
the best part about that is they have a shirt for it now.
Right? Get these hands. It's fucking
great. I love it.
Now, so where do you think the U.S. title's heading? With Bobby Roode as champion, you think that? I mean, the obvious number one contender is Dolph Ziggler, but I don't know if I want to see Ziggler against Bobby Roode.
Wait, I want to see Ziggler leave the WWE. It was a waste of a 30 pick. I'm so over it. I've rooted for him too many times. He failed every one of those times, and his character is just annoying to me. I don't get it. I don't understand it, and I don't even want to at this point. I'm over it.
Honestly, I'm 100% with you. I'm over him.
He's like one of those bad girlfriends that you break up with, and you go back and forth so many times knowing it's toxic and it's going to be ruined, and then they text you a million times asking for you back and how much they love you and how they're going to clean the whole damn house for you every day. And you're just like, you know what? I don't even care anymore. I don't even want it. I don't even want that. That's fucking Dolph Ziggler in a nutshell.
Yeah, how is he not TNA by now? Like, I thought he'd be there years ago.
Do you think they just gave him the number 30 spot and keep dangling a carrot? Is he that stupid? Is he about to leave every time? They're like, no, we're gonna do something. Vince, we're gonna do something big with you, and all this other bullshit. And he says, oh, okay, and then he fucking does it, and then they're like, okay, well, Miz is happy. He got the number 30 spot. Now go fuck him over real quick.
I think that has something to do with it. I think his age also has something to do with it. He's getting to a point. He's 38 at this point.
He is? I guess he would be. Oh, yeah, because he did start out in the Spirit Squad back in 06.
Oh, one of my favorites.
Well, I don't know. Honestly, though, guys, about the U.S. title picture, I didn't see all of SmackDown, but last thing I saw, Rusev's the number one contender.
Which I would love for
You
Rusev.
saw that? Do you know about that, guys?
I know about that. I just don't think he's going to win.
Well, you're saying, we're talking who should be Bobby's opponent at Mania.
Oh, yeah. That's why he's not the number one contender at Mania. He's the number one contender. I think either on SmackDown or
Well, would it be, honestly, dude, you guys might disagree with me, but I actually would like to see Rude and Rusev have a feud, but I would like it if they reversed the roles. I think Rusev's pretty over now at this point. I think you could easily turn. I honestly think you can easily turn him face. Call me crazy, but I think Rusev could be face at this point with the whole popularity of the Rusev Day thing.
Yeah, no, Rusev Day is over 100%. I completely agree.
And honestly, as much as I love Bobby, I kind of have to agree with something that JP said. His character doesn't make much sense as a face. Yeah, sorry. His character doesn't make. Hey, we're live now. He'll kick my ass. So his character doesn't make much sense as a face. He's this flashy, narcissistic, egotistical asshole coming out in robes and flashy jewelry and flashy suits. His character makes much more sense as a heel. His character in NXT and in TNA made so much more sense. I like him as a face, but it doesn't work as well as a face. I think Rude would be better off being a heel in this situation and then have Rusev be a face with the whole crowd behind him with Rusev Day and everything. What do you guys think? I don't think it's that bad.
I don't disagree with that idea. I just don't think WWE's going to go in that direction.
What do you, Mark? Do you like that idea?
Yeah. I mean, that's what I've been kind of saying since he came to SmackDown. I'm like, I don't want to cheer you. I want to boo you and think that you're a total dick.
Yeah.
That's what I want. I don't want to be cheering him right now. I don't want other people to either. It takes away from it.
Honestly,
he's a better heel than he is babyface.
I can't think exactly. I honestly can't think of many instances ever in history where a guy a guy who comes to a ring wearing a flashy robe is a fucking face.
Flair?
Yeah, Ric Flair, but Ric Flair was heel most of his career. Yeah.
Greg Valentine.
Well, most of them are heels.
AJ Styles for a little bit had a robe as a babyface.
He did?
Well, no, he was heel at that point. That was when he was hanging out with Ric Flair.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. I mean, you understand. Back in the 70s, everybody had robes.
Now.
Yeah. Charlotte, technically.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah, Charlotte.
Well, she just does that because of her father, though. Yeah,
but she still counts.
Well, she was. Honestly, she's a better. Well, Charlotte's.
No, she's the same situation.
Charlotte's awesome because she's really good at doing both.
Oh yeah, she's good at both, but I think she's better heel.
I agree.
You know who I really wish would have been a better U.S. champion, and that's Baron Corbin. He really let me down. I mean, I love the guy, and he's been one of my top 5 since he came in. And just what's going on with him? I don't get. He's kind of dropping the ball here. I mean, he wasn't a great champion. I don't think.
Well, his ball's been dropped since he lost that Money in the Bank briefcase. He really hasn't been on track since then.
That's exactly what I was going to say, Tony. I really think that he honestly got a little bit demotivated, or whatever the word is, unmotivated. I honestly think that he got a little unmotivated and got a little fucking sour over it because he was supposed to be world champion. Here's the thing, though. Like, if you're promised like a really fancy fucking car, give me a good car,
Maserati.
Yeah, or what's the car that Batman drove in the Dark Knight? Lamborghini. If you're promised a Lamborghini and they give you a fucking now name me a shitty car.
A fucking Ford Pinto.
A Ford Pinto. You're gonna be pissed off. So I'm not that smart with cars, guys. But you would be pissed. He was offered a really fucking nice deal, a world championship title shot, and then you blew it. So he settle for this instead.
Yeah, he has to settle for losing to Cena at the pay-per-view.
Yeah. So actually, Mari, you are a very outspoken anti-Cena fan, correct? You hate Cena.
Yeah, I'm at the point where, I've heard, and look, even if it's 99% true or false that he's buried people and fucked people's careers over, there's still at least got to be 1% because there's so much shit out there about it. So I don't like that. I don't like whenever he gets put into positions like this where he had no right winning Monday. Stuff like that still bothers me.
Yeah.
At a point you need to pass the torch, and I don't feel like he's ever fully going to do that. I feel like he's a little too selfish. Now, I will say, him versus Nakamura, whenever Nakamura won, I thought that was a 5-star match. I loved it. I mean, it could have been better, but you know what I mean? That had me entertained by Cena. But whenever he does the shit that he does, it's like, holy fuck. What are we back in 05 and 06 and 07 again? It's just unnecessary, and that's where my issues with Cena. It's very love-hate.
I understand where you're coming from. I really do. I just think I'm not always trying to defend him, but I have to defend him a little bit because a lot of times this is just still booking. They're just telling him what to do. You know what I mean? He's just taking orders because he's so loyal.
Oh yeah, no, definitely.
So
I agree.
But yeah, I know what you mean, man. Well, but he also at the same time look at recent history. I always have been okay, I legitimately fucking hated him. Not really. I hated him. Really, really hated him up until about until 2009, 2008, 2009. I still didn't like him, but I didn't hate him anymore. Then I actually started to somewhat warm up to him when he started having great matches. Honestly, I want to thank CM Punk because I think because of people like CM Punk, Daniel Bryan, that Cena actually stepped up his game, evolved somewhat and started. If you remember, if looking back his matches with Punk and Bryan, he actually stepped up his game, evolved a little bit, became he became a.
That's what I was gonna say. That's really started to change his game. Owens was the first one that was all right, this is my new style.
Yeah, which technically started with Punk and Bryan, and then by the time that Owens came in, Sami Zayn, Styles, he put those guys over and had great matches with them. So you can't say that he never put anybody over, but for the majority, yeah, he buries people, but it's not always his fault either. Looking back, one that really still gets to me and irks me, I'm sure you'd agree, I still never really got over him kind of burying Rusev and fucking Bray Wyatt. But that once again, I don't think that was completely his fault, but it was frustrating.
I'll defend the Rusev one, because I don't think it was John Cena that buried Rusev. I think the booking after the Cena feud was what buried Rusev.
Yeah. I agree with that. Yeah, I think that was booking, too. I mean, I don't see Cena being a part of that.
Because the
I don't
matches
even
were
know that he
great.
was part of the Balor thing, but it just fucking sucks that Cena has to be attached to
True.
shit like that. It just bothers me.
Not true, but you brought up something interesting. You said you was talking about a 5-star match. How do you feel about Johnny Gargano and almost getting 5 stars?
Oh my god! So I didn't even. First off, like, as far as Johnny Gargano, I was like, you know what? I like him, but I don't. I don't connect with him exactly, and he blew me away. And then Almas, I don't even know how to say his name. How do you say his name?
Andrade Cien Almas.
There we go. Okay, so with him, I really was against him. Like, I don't know why this guy won the title. I think he's boring. I think he's bland. I don't like his character. He probably can't even wrestle, but I haven't been paying attention anyway. And that match got me his attention. I still don't really care or connect with his character or what he's doing, but that guy has some fucking moves in the ring that I can appreciate and say, good job, sir. So
Absolutely.
I think it was phenomenal.
Yeah, no,
like our podcast. Oh, self plug.
Let's listen to what you're listening to current to. Oh, I don't even know what I was saying. But I would agree with that 100%.
English, Tony. English.
Well, I was thinking, I couldn't think of the words I was going to say there. So I was thinking about my opinion, which I agree with 100% with. Because I think that match was a tremendous match.
Right.
The match before it was so damn good. Drake was there a good test. I'm a huge Adam Cole fan. So I was marking out for the match before that. Right. I thought that was match of the year. Then they put on that match.
Right? No.
And
we were texting balls happening like, Tony, I think this match just beat the last one.
Yeah, like, no doubt. Like, it was like, holy shit. So, I mean, to do that when you're topping a match with your candidate in the same night, that alone deserves a 5-star.
Hell yeah.
Yep. I agree.
And what's funny, Mar, it's actually really funny you said, like, you couldn't connect with almost his character either. I never did either. I wasn't really a fan of his. Except for his wrestling ability. I always knew he was a good wrestler. Because even, like, if you think back to WrestleMania weekend when we were in the crowd, his debut match was against Aleister Black. It was awesome. Like, he's a great wrestler, but I can never connect with his character either. I'm like, this guy's boring. I thought the same thing. Like, why is he champion? Why did he beat Drew? This guy doesn't fucking deserve it. And then he proved me wrong last weekend, in that phenomenal 5-star match. Which, by the way, what site was it that JP shared with us? It beat Taker and
it was ranked. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what website Tim sent us, but it was literally ranked the #1 match of all time. I think.
Wow!
Okay.
Holy shit!
It's all right.
On that note, guys, thank you so much for having me on. It was just such a pleasure. I hope your viewers enjoyed having me on as well in my annoying ass voice, but I loved it. I loved every second of it.
Hey, hold on, real quick before you go, Tony. Do you have one more question for Mark?
No, that's fine. I was actually getting very close to wrapping up myself.
Oh, so we're actually near the end of the show, man. It was perfect time.
I'm playing the outro music as we speak.
All right, man. Hey, I really appreciate we really appreciate you coming on. We love it. We want to have you on more. I can't wait to have you on again. I can't wait to be on your show, and hopefully you'll be home for WrestleMania weekend. We'll see what happens, man. It was a pleasure to have you on. I hope you enjoyed it.
Yeah, I 100% agree with that. If you want, go ahead and plug your show real quick.
Yeah, okay, so thank you. I appreciate the plug. I think this is the #1 wrestling podcast show that I listen to. I think it's phenomenal. The Phenomenal Podcast.
Thank you,
but
sir.
we have a little bit of a show. We do some interview stuff. We do some entertaining stuff, and that is called Above Ground Level Radio. It's not quite up and running yet, but it will be up soon.
Awesome.
But until then, keep plugging away with the Phenomenal Podcast. You have great fans, great show. And I'm excited, and I hope you guys and the fans will have me back.
Oh, no, you're definitely a friend of the show at this point. We wish you all the best with Above Ground Radio. Moving forward, we hope it's a huge success. But thank you, as Drake said, for coming on. It's about the damn time we got you on. I know, and you guys, like I said, if you guys will have me and the fans will have me, I had a blast. I will be on so much more. No, definitely. We'll definitely have you on. I might as well announce it now. I've been thinking about doing a fantasy draft. I know you guys do it in a little Discord or a line chat, whatever the fuck it's called.
Yeah, line.
And I'm thinking about bringing it to the podcast. So we might have you on for that. I know we're going to have Tim or JP on for that, so we might have you on for that also.
No, he needs to just
fucking hard, man.
We're not saying his last name. It shouldn't fucking matter.
It's going to be a running joke at some point, but we might have to. We're going to have you. Might have to have you on for that.
And before you leave, Mari, I want to say what you want to say about Colin Matthews.
Yeah. So, so just for all the listeners out there, go on, a guy we know named Colin Matthews. He's famous. He friends with all the famous celebrities out there.
He's best friends with Vanilla Ice.
Nice.
Yeah, he's had his dick bitten by. I can't even say it.
Oh shit!
That's
She bit
true.
my dick, dude. Yeah, he was having sex at a fucking pool table and a girl. I'm glad I didn't lose my virginity to that girl. That's a different story. Never mind.
My god. And on that
Next
note,
week.
That
yeah.
girl have bit his dick more. I almost lost my virginity to her. Good thing I did.
oh my god. Alright. We devolved into craziness, but if you enjoyed what you heard, follow us on Twitter at Phenomenal Podcast, Facebook.com/Phenomenal Podcast. Barry, thank you again for being on.
Thank you guys so much. Like I said, you have my favorite wrestling show. It's the best. It's phenomenal, and I can't wait to come back.
Alright. I love that you just keep kissing my ass. I enjoy every second of it.
I love
Drake,
it.
thank you for being on again.
Hey, I'm the
35
co-host. I'm always here.
35 fucking episodes, man. We did it.
Wait, what number is it?
35.
No, we're 35. The
So,
big 35.
We'll see you next week with number 36. And like I said, we will see you all next fucking week.